It's an incredible honor to be here tonight alongside women I admire, in front of women and men that I admire. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a recovering lawyer. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about before I talk about it. I'm going to talk about the state of nonprofits and the social safety net it's holding together. And I'm going to talk about how we can turn it into a trampoline. My name is Michael Corey, and I needed my notes for that part. This is a rare night out for me. My wonderful wife, Lori, and I work very hard to preserve our evenings to spend time with our boys through 6 and 2. I'm sorry they're not here, but they'd be all over the stage. You don't want that. I brought them with me on my lucky socks. I'm appreciative of Lori tackling them tonight so I could be here with all of you. I feel like, yeah, absolutely. I get them both tomorrow while she gets a fun night. I feel like I have the best job in the world, with no disrespect to Kelly or anybody else in this room. Along with my wonderful colleagues at the Human Service Chamber, our simple job is to help the helpers. It's the best job because of the people, the caliber of people for whom I get to work. 22,000 incredible humans like Dr. Ginn, Dr. Hinkleman. I saw Elsie Johnson out here. I think Karen Mazzeno is in the room. All of you nonprofit leaders, it's such a privilege to serve all of you that are here. But I wouldn't even be here, wouldn't have this job without Kelly Griesmer. In 2015, I left a job at an area law firm and joined the nonprofit called the Children's Defense Fund. I wanted to undo the resegregation of public schools, and I wanted to change the way we fund public schools. And I failed miserably, obviously, at those things. But I felt this compulsion to put my lawyer hat back on and work on Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign in 2016. It didn't go as well as I hoped it would go. I'm still eager for our first woman president and governor and mayor, but I digress. After the election, I spent 5 months trying to find something that I thought I could contribute to with the few skills that I have, and I wasn't having much success. And then I got introduced to Kelly Griesmer. She asked me what I thought I was good at, and I said, I can read, I can write, I can advocate, and I have a lot of feelings. It's true. And she said, don't talk about the things you aren't good at when you're in an interview. Talk about the things you are good at and how that's transferable to the new job. It was good advice, and a couple weeks later, the Human Service Chamber was foolish enough to hire me, and it'll be 9 years next week that I've been in the job. I'm enormously grateful for the journey that it's been, and of course to Kelly, who's done a marvelous job here at the Women's Fund. A lot has changed in our roles over those 9 years. When I started at HSC, we had 48 members. We're up to about 250. We have an incredible team of 5 women. Our goal is simple: help the helpers by bringing people together and amplifying their expertise, their experience, their perspective, and their work. That's collective power. And it's extremely powerful. But I don't mind telling you, for the last 15 months, it's been as hard as it's ever been. Here's an example of why. I'm extremely proud that many of our members are very intentional in providing services for women and girls. They're laser focused on it. ROCKS is a perfect example of that. And I'm extremely proud and grateful that the Women's Fund has financially supported 45 of those organizations over the last 25 years. That's an incalculable impact. I don't care how small the grant may have been. Think about what you've unleashed through the support you've provided to the Women's Fund and everything the Women's Fund has done over all those years. It's remarkable. But if you're in this room, you know how challenging it has been for nonprofits to even say out loud that they're addressing a problem specific to a group of people. We have several agencies that have had to scrub language from their websites, change the name of their programs, or even change the name of the agency itself. That's all because of what's been happening in Washington. It goes without saying, I think, it's a really hard time to be in nonprofits right now. This is the brief, sad part of my talk. Here's the summary. Needs and costs are way up. Resources and morale are way down. Over the last 15 months alone, our members have had to lay off 1,000 people. 1,000 people. And they've had to leave many other positions intentionally unfilled. Not a week goes by where another agency doesn't come to us and say, we're at an inflection point. We've got to furlough some staff. We've got to close a program. We might have to close our whole agency. I just got an email like that an hour ago. And it's affecting agencies that are big and small, that are old and new. It feels like there's not much we can do. It feels like throwing snowballs into hell. But we're not just going to roll over and take it. Our nonprofits are still making incredible things happen every day, even in these toughest of times. As Duke professor Keyholder says, life is so beautiful, life is so hard. There are still ribbon cuttings, there are still innovations, there are still collaborations, there are still social workers making magic happen for their clients. There's even great legislation that's finding its way toward law being championed by nonprofits. Tomorrow, at the Ohio Senate, of all places, there's a great paid family leave bill that's going to be introduced by a Republican and a Democrat. And in Congress, there's a great housing bill that's this close to becoming law. Really good things are still happening. But no doubt it's a tough time. Abnormally so. Abnormally so. As one of our members recently told us, we're still rolling with the punches, but it's a lot harder to recover. Let me give you an example. In December, 1 month after the longest federal government shutdown in history, ICE surged in Columbus. Our nonprofits mobilized, and I want to tell you about one of them. It's called Our Helpers. It's led by Dr. Dorothy Hassan. And that's right. And this nonprofit focuses its work on our wonderful Somali community in Columbus. When ICE showed up, lawyers advised any immigrants that were worried to basically stay at home. That was the legal advice. That creates a problem if you want to get food. So Dorothy and our helpers mobilized, they compiled a lot of food, and they started delivering it directly to people's homes. That's an extraordinary impact, and it's reflective of how Dr. Hassan approaches her work every day. It's how her peers approach the work every day. They see a problem, and they run toward it so they can help. But we can't just be reactive. We have to be proactive. We need to sustain our support of nonprofits so they can sustain their support of our community. I botched that line. So this is the vision. As my boss, Rachel Lustig of Lutheran Social Services says, we have to turn the social safety net into a trampoline. How do we do that? We organize, we activate, we give, and we advocate. And we have to be consistent. You can't give to a food pantry and then turn around and support policies that take food away from food pantries. So we've started this work locally. A recent report found that we need to generate another $220 million for nonprofits just in Franklin County. It's an audacious number, but I know we can do it. There are so many incredible leaders in this room. Let's use tonight as a springboard. We can organize, we can activate, we can give, and we can advocate to our elected officials to share these convictions and prioritize finding this money and getting it out into the community. But let's start with something smaller. I want the Women's Fund to have $6 million to give away every year, not every 25 years. That alone would be transformational because every penny helps someone. Every program that those dollars fund helps someone. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I am a recovering lawyer, I have to cite a lawyer. She said in 2017, the true symbol of the United States is not the bald eagle, it's the pendulum. And when it swings too far in one direction, it's gonna swing back. We need to swing that pendulum back as fast as possible. We need to swing it back so that we don't have to hesitate when we describe what we do or what we care about. We need to be proud that we're here tonight celebrating women who are not just helping women, who are not just transforming the social safety net, but who are making this whole country better. A politician can't take that away from us. That's our collective power. We just have to unleash it.